The Galactic Council chamber fell silent as Ambassador Thelanox of the Vryn Empire posed a question that had been troubling the assembled delegates for months. His crystalline voice echoed through the vast hall, translated instantly into 100 languages. How long does it take to train your warriors, human? Sergeant Eva Martinez stood at attention beside the holographic display, her dress uniform crisp and adorned with medals that told stories of battles fought across 3 star systems. She glanced at Oliver Chun, the young diplomatic aide who had accompanied her to this unprecedented meeting. His nervous energy was palpable, but Eva remained calm. She'd faced worse than skeptical aliens. 13 weeks, Eva replied simply. The chamber erupted. Delegates from species across the galaxy began speaking over one another, their translators creating a cacophony of disbelief. The Vryn warrior scholars trained for 15 cycles, nearly 20 Earth years. The Korthian battle priests underwent a decade of mental and physical conditioning. Even the peaceful Nalari required 5 years to prepare their defense forces. 13 weeks was incomprehensible. Ambassador Thelanox raised one of his forearms, and silence gradually returned. Surely there is a translation error. You mean 13 cycles? 13 years? 13 weeks, Eva repeated. Then we give them guns and grenades. Oliver stepped forward, his tablet glowing with prepared diplomatic statements. He'd been instructed to soften Eva's bluntness, to explain the nuances of human military training, the advanced education systems, the cultural preparation that preceded formal service. But Eva's hand moved slightly, a gesture so subtle that only Oliver caught it. Let them wonder. The Korthian High Commander, a towering figure whose species had never lost a ground engagement in 3,000 years of recorded history, leaned forward. His translator rendered his deep, rumbling speech into clipped standard. Impossible. Our intelligence suggests human Marines are formidable warriors. They cannot achieve such capability in mere weeks. With respect, Commander, Oliver interjected, finding his voice. Sergeant Martinez has seen combat on 7 worlds. She's faced Korthian warriors in the Battle of Proxima Station. The commander's eyes, all 3 of them, fixed on Eva. You were at Proxima? Yes, sir. You held the docking bay for 6 hours against my finest units. Yes, sir. How old were you? Eva's expression didn't change. 19, sir. I'd been a Marine for 8 months. The chamber exploded again. This time, the noise was different, not disbelief, but something closer to fear. The Korthian forces at Proxima had reported facing an enemy of impossible tenacity. Warriors who seemed to feel no fear, who adapted to battlefield conditions with terrifying speed, who turned every corridor into a death trap with improvised tactics. Oliver pulled up a hologram of human in combat gear, moving through a training course. The assembled aliens watched as the young Marine navigated obstacles, fired weapons with practiced precision, coordinated with teammates through hand signals, and shouted commands. This Marine, Oliver explained, completed basic training 12 weeks ago. In 1 more week, she'll graduate and be assigned to an active duty unit. This is madness, muttered the Malari observer. Our soldiers would be children at such experience levels. Eva finally allowed herself a small smile. That's the difference, observer. We don't train soldiers. We make Marines. Ambassador Thelanox's crystalline features somehow conveyed confusion. I fail to understand the distinction. May I speak freely, Ambassador? Eva asked. Oliver tensed, but the ambassador gestured assent. Your species, all of your species, breed warriors. You take your strongest, your smartest, your most aggressive, and you shape them over years or decades into perfect instruments of war. It's beautiful in its way, efficient, logical. Eva stepped away from the display, her boots clicking on the polished floor. Every eye in the chamber followed her. Humans don't do that. We take ordinary people, farmers, students, kids who've never left their home planet, and in 13 weeks, we break them down and build them back up. We don't make them fearless. We teach them to act despite fear. We don't make them perfect. We teach them to adapt when everything goes wrong. We don't give them a decade to contemplate warfare. We throw them into it and trust that they're training their brothers and sisters beside them, and something essentially human, will see them through. The Korthian commander stood slowly, his massive form imposing even in a chamber built to accommodate 100 species. You claim that inexperience is a strength? No, sir. I claim that humanity's strength isn't that we're the best warriors. It's that we can turn almost anyone into one fast enough to matter. When you fought us at Proxima, you had veterans with decades of experience. We had kids who'd been Marines for less than a year. We won because while you had 1,000 elite warriors, we could field 10,000 adequate ones. And those adequate Marines learned fast enough that by day 3 of the siege, you couldn't tell them from veterans. Oliver pulled up more data statistics, training methodologies, historical comparisons. But he could see that the numbers didn't matter now. Ava's words had struck something deeper. Ambassador Felinox was silent for a long moment. Finally, he spoke. The Council called this meeting because we fear human military expansion. Your species is young, aggressive, and rapidly claiming territory. We sought to understand your capabilities to better contain you, and now? Eva asked. Now I understand why containment is impossible. Any species that can create warriors in weeks, rather than years, that can mobilize entire populations for warfare at such speed, he trailed off. Tell me, Sergeant, how many humans could become Marines? Ava's smile widened. All of us, Ambassador. Given 13 weeks, every human could pick up a rifle and fight. We're not a warrior race. We're better than that. We're a race where anyone can become a warrior. The chamber remained silent as the implications settled over the assembled. Delegates like a heavy fog. Oliver finally spoke into the quiet. The human delegation proposes a different path forward. Not containment, but cooperation. Alliance. As the discussions began, Eva caught Oliver's eye. He nodded slightly. They both knew the truth. Humanity had just revealed its greatest strength and its most terrifying secret. 13 weeks to make a Marine. A lifetime to make a soldier. And a species of 8 billion souls, every one of them a potential warrior. The galaxy would never look at humanity the same way again.